Good afternoon, friends. So we are discussing about planning, and in this chapter of planning, in my last class, we discussed about strategic planning and growth strategies. So after discussing growth strategies, today I will be talking about environmental analysis and what are the different methods of analyzing the environment. What are the different techniques of analyzing the environment? This is the subject of discussion in today's class. So friends, if you recollect many times in the business organization, in management, we say organization is an open and adaptive system. Since the organization is an open and adaptive system, any organization, whether economic organization or non-economic organizations, they work in an environment, means they work in a society. Whatever is happening in the society, in our environment, we are being affected by it, and what happens in the organization, we are being we affect the environment. Environment is society. So basically, today I'll not talking of what happens in the company and how it affects the environment of the society, but I'll be talking about that why the analysis of environment is important, how environment influences the company or the organization, and what are the methods of analyzing this environment or techniques of analyzing the environment. So let's understand what we mean by business environment. Business environment may be defined as the total surroundings which have a direct or indirect bearings on the functioning of the business. When I use the word total surroundings, it means, as I just said, that since we are the part and the parcel of the economy of this planet, so whatever is happening on this planet, and my focus will be on not only on within the country, but even outside the country, that affects our business, that affects our functioning. So it may be also defined as set of external factors such as economic factors, social factors. These are all different factors which affects the environment or which are the part and the parcel of environment. Economic factors, social factors, political factors, legal factors, demographic factors, technical factors, etc., which are uncontrollable in nature and affect the business decision of the firm. That is, these are the different environmental factors which you have just read here in the PPT, or which I have shown here in the PPT. That is economic, social, political, legal, demographic, right, technical, which affects the business decision making. I'll be discussing each of these factors in detail. So the business environment is dynamic in nature and means it keeps on changing. As I said, organization is an open and adaptive system. Adapting means it changes according to the change in the environmental factors. So the changes in this business environment are unpredictable. Since they are uncontrollable, when I'm saying uncontrolled means not controlled in the purview of the organization, right? So they are unpredictable. They are unforeseen. You cannot exactly predict them, although we forecast them. But they are not unpredictable. Means any changes can take place. I'll be explaining all these things in detail in the course of my discussion. So it differs from place to place, region to region, and country, right? So I'm not discussing this. These are the factors: economic factors, technological factors, social factors, political factors, legal factors, demographic factors. Let me discuss briefly about these. What is economic factors? Economic factors means the rate of growth of the economy. If you recollect, a few years back, the Indian economy was growing at a rate of 8%, 7%, 9%. At that point of time, the economy was growing at a very fast rate. So the pay package of the employees was growing at a very fast rate, but companies with profits making bumper profit, and purchasing power of the people were increasing. As the purchasing power of people increases, they purchase more goods and services. As they purchase more goods and services, obviously the demand in the economy increases, and it leads to the boom in the business, across business, right? So there are various economic factors. Not only the country's own GDP, countries per capita income, countries monetary policies, country fiscal policies, right? All this comes under the economic factors. How the monetary policy affects. See, after this pandemic, government has announced various fiscal policy measures. Government has pumped in extra money. What was the reason of pumping extra money? The reason of pumping extra money in the economy was that since money circulation increases in the economy, and thereby the banks are able to lend more money to the industrialist, to the businessman, and so that the business situation improves. So this fiscal policy, government policy, taxation policy, all these comes under economic factors. Social factors means like demographic factors, the age composition, how the population is divided among the rural and the urban people, right? What are the purchase behavior of the people? What do you call value system in the country? Um, Ethical values in the country, right? Say for example, in India, lot of buying takes place in the festival season because our social systems are such. Recently, Diwali has just gone by, right? So in this festive series, all over the country, in the name of Diwali or in other festivals' name, people tends to buy more in the time of festivals. So if you have observed in the last 3 4 months, in the last 2 months especially, all these online companies like Amazon, Flipkarts have come out with various schemes because they know it that people tends to buy more. Our social system is such that we tends to buy in the festival time, or since we tend to buy more in the festival time, the companies come out with new policies, new schemes. Not only the Amazon, Flipkart, even the companies themselves comes out with new schemes, so that the idea is so that they can attract more and more consumers. So this is about the social factors. Political factors, whether there is a political stability in the country or not, the type of the government that is there in the country. When I'm saying type of the country means what are the thinking process of that political party that is in power. We say in India we have two extreme wings, left wing and the right wing. Right wing means rightist party and the leftist party. Right? I'm not saying which is good or which is bad. I'm just saying the right wing political parties have their own policies, they have their own agenda. Left wing political parties have their own agenda. So whether there is a political stability, if in a country there is a lack of political stability, it is going to affect the business very seriously, because no industrialist, no businessman would like to invest in an economy where there is a lack of political stability. So the type of political parties which are there, I mean the political system in the country, this is called political factors, legal factors, like the labor laws, tax laws, legal system in the country, all this is called legal factors. Demographic factors means the age composition, the whether the whether the young population is more. We say we have a demographic advantage. What do you mean by demographic advantage? We say India is a young country. What does it mean India is a young country? It means the average population in this country, we say 65% of the population of this country is below the age of 35 years, right? Means they are in the productive capacity, they are in the productive group, they are in the working age group, right? And if you compare India with Japan, Japan has an aging population. There the demand of medicine, demand which is being consumed by, which is the products that is being consumed by old people are more in demand. But India is a young country. Since India is a young country, so the products that is being demanded by by the younger generation is more in demand. So demographic feature means the age composition, the education level, the rural-urban divide, how the demographic features in the country is. That is called demographic. Technological factors. Technological factor means what is the pace of technological changes in the country. To what extent the technology is being adapted in the country. To what extent the technological factors affects a particular business or an industry. So these are called technological factors. All these factors which you are seeing here, all these factors affects the business decision making, right? As I've just spoken that if in a country the economic factors are not conducive for business, the business will not be able to grow, right? If the government gives some economic package, like say for example in this pandemic period, there are certain industries to which the government is giving a very liberal, government is asking the banks to give loans at a very liberal rate of interest. Obviously, it will give a boost to the business because those businessmen can grab this opportunity of taking the loan, taking the money at a very cheaper rate, make fresh investment. It will give a impetus to the business, right? So all these factors will affect the business. So environmental analysis is the study of organized environment to pinpoint environmental factors that can significantly influence organizational operation. It is a strategic tool. It is a process to identify all the external and internal elements which can affect the organizational performance. So after talking of these different environmental factors, right? So how you analyze the environment? There are 4 points which I'll just name them. One is scanning. Scanning means it involves general surveillance of all environmental factors which I've just named: political, legal, social, demographic, all these. General surveillance of all economic factors and their interaction in order to identify early signals of possible environmental changes. Detect environmental changes already underway. See what you do as a business, what you do as a business manager. Your job is to scan the environment, that what are the changes that are taking place or that have taken place. Why this scanning is required? This scanning is required so that you can make your business policies as per the changes in the environment. So you will scan the environment. The other thing is monitoring the environment, right? It involves tracking the environmental trends, sequences of events, or a stream of activities. It frequently involves following signals or other during the environmental scanning. Means, is there any trend that is emerging because of these changes, right? What are the sequence of events that is taking place? What you're seeing that over a period of time, India's per capita income is increasing. India's GDP is increasing. I'm not talking of the current year where because of this pandemic and in the current year economy is not growing at a fast rate, but up till the previous year, our economy was growing at a reasonably good rate. So our GDP was increasing, our per capita was increasing. What does it mean? A trend is emerging that the income level of the consumers is increasing. So the companies can take advantage of this increasing purchasing level of the people, purchasing power of the people, and make the policy of the company so that they can take the advantage of this increased purchasing power. See, like buying behavior, social factor, if I say, buying behavior of the people is increasing. More and more people in India are resorting to e-commerce. They are resorting to purchase through internet, through digital modes. They are making payments through digital modes, right? So companies are changing their policies as per the requirement. So what is required is you have to monitor the environment. Forecasting means seeing what is going to happen in the environment. Strategic decision making requires a future orientation. Not only you have to scan and you have to monitor the present environment, but you have to forecast also. Forecast means imagine what is going to happen in the future so that you can prepare your organization as per the future requirements of the business. If I see that in the coming year, this is going to happen. These are the taste and preferences which are changing, and which is going to impact the purchasing habits of the people. I'll have to adopt all those traditional organizations which did not use to sell through internet, through all these things. They are also resorting to it because of this pandemic. The people are afraid of coming to the shops, so they prefer to purchase from home only through online purchases. So many of the companies they see this pandemic is not going to end very soon. So they are forecasting this will 6 months for another 1 year, that maybe that this trend will continue at a very fast rate. And as this trend will continue, so then people will become habitual of purchasing online. Like say, person like me, a person of my age group, I was not very enthusiastic about online purchases. But now after this pandemic, I am also afraid of going to the market. So and I have also start purchasing through online mode, right? Through e-commerce mode. So companies are forecasting that in future this online purchase is going to stay, and more and more people will resort to the online purchases. So they will have to develop their portal so that the company which are not selling online, they have also start selling online. So you have to forecast what is going to happen in the environment. And lastly, assessment, right? So assessment means the frame of reference moves from understanding of the environment, means not only you have to monitor, you have to forecast, you have to see what the environment is, but on the basis of this, to identify what the understanding means for the organization. See, after scanning, monitoring, and forecasting of the environment, what you understand for the organization. So assessment tries to answer questions such as what the what are the key issues presented by the environment, and what are the implications of such for the organization. So out of this, what are the key issues for the environment and what are its implications? So it means, friends, there are four important things: scanning of the environment, right? Monitoring, forecasting, and assessment. Assessment means after the means I mean after the scanning, monitoring, and forecasting, you have to assess that what is the implication of these things on the organization, and you make the policies as per the your forecasting and assessment and monitoring of the environment, means as per the need of the environment, right? So I have just summed it up. Scanning means identifying early signals of environmental changes and trends. I've already explained this. Monitoring means detecting meaning through ongoing observation of environmental changes and trends. Forecasting means developing projections of anticipated outcomes based on monitored changes and trends. And assessing means determining the timing and importance of environmental changes and trends for firms' strategic and management. Right. So very quickly, I'm not going to detail of this because my focus will be that how you will analyze the environment. Importance of environmental. Why the environmental analysis is important? What are the benefits of analyzing the environment? See, up till now you have understood what these environmental factors are and how it impacts, how it affects the business decision making. I said I'm just summarizing what I've said so far, that there are different environmental factors which affects the business. Whether these are political factors, whether these are social factors, whether these are economic factors, whether these are demographic factors, the legal factors, and all these factors which we have just explained. That please try to understand this, that organization is not working in isolation. You are a part and the parcel of the environment, of the society. I'll say as a layman, environment means society. Whatever is happening in the society, society means country, the city, your world as a whole. Whatever is happening in the world, whatever is happening in the economy, whatever is happening in the country, that affects the business. So business decision making or a good management must adapt itself, must change its policies, must change itself as per the environmental factors. Because friends, no static organization can grow. I have over a period of time seen many organizations which have perished because they have not changed as per the change requirement. I distinctly remember, let me give you an example. I distinctly remember Nokia phone. When the mobile phones were being introduced in India, the best mobile phone used to be the Nokia phone. Every mobile user used to buy the Nokia phone. But what happens? Now they have almost perished from the market. Almost perished. Because they did not change their technology. They did not change, right? Nowadays, more and more people are buying smartphone. They did not bring the smartphone when all other companies brought the smartphone. And slowly and gradually, their sales declined and they have almost perished. There are n number of examples which you can see that those companies, those organizations which did not change themselves as per the requirement of the environment, they do not grow. And which organizations are growing? The organizations which are changing as per the change environmental factors, right? You take the example of many FMCG companies in India at present. After this pandemic, the need of or the demand of hygienic product increased. These sanitizers, masks, and all these things. So most of these FMCG company, fast moving consumer goods company, whether you talk of Reckitt Coleman, the Dettol, Dabur, Godrej Consumers, Hindustan Lever, all these companies comes out with this what you call hand sanitizers, right? In order to maintain the sale, in order to increase the sales, right? So because an opportunity is there in the environment, and this pandemic has forced people to use more and more hygiene products and more use of sanitizers and masks. So most of these companies have come out with their sanitizers. So idea is they grab the opportunity. I'll be talking of it in later part of my discussion also, right? So they have analyzed the environment, and by analyzing the environment, they are able to change themselves. So this is what is required in the management. So I'm just quickly talking of the environmental analysis, the advantage of environmental analysis, identifying of strengths, right? So you identify what are the strength of the organization. Means by analyzing the environment, you will able to identify the strength of your organization. You will able to identify the weaknesses of your organization. What are your weakness? Whether technology is your weakness, whether the money power is your weakness, whether the machine is your weakness, whether good quality human resource is your weakness, whatever because when you will analyze, you will able to know identification of opportunities, that what are the opportunities which environment is throwing so that you can make use of it. Identification of the threats. What are the threats? Threats from the competitors, threats from the government policy, threats from the customers. What are the threats? Optimum use of the resources. So environmental analysis will help you in using your resources most optimally, because you will able to, if you're a good management, you will able to make good use of the external environmental changes, and you will change your internal factors as per the requirements of the external factors, and you will able to make good use of your resources. Survival and growth. As I've just given you the example of Nokia, right? For the growth of the company, it is very important that you analyze the environment and change as per the need of the environment. If you don't change yourself, you are going to perish slowly and gradually, right? Means at least you will not able to grow. If even if you survive, you will not able to grow. I can talk of many business houses, right? Uh, I distinctly remember there was a time when we were the students, the in North India especially, the DCM, the Ascots, they were the top business leaders. But nowadays, they are not the business leaders of the country. I'm not saying they have perished. They are still working. But the rate of growth at which many of the IT companies, many other business houses, the Aditya Birla Group and Mahindra and Mahindra, Reliance Group, IT companies, the way they have grown, in that they could not match the pace of that growth, because probably they might not have changed as per, they might not have grabbed the opportunities which the environment have thrown to these groups. Probably I'm saying, right? So means the point I'm trying to make is they do not grow at the rate at which many of the other companies have grown, because they might have used the environmental factors in a better manner as compared to the companies which could not grow. To plan a long-term business strategy, right? Environmental scanning, its decision making. So these are the importance of environmental analysis. Now, friends, because see, friends, I know I'm going fast, but since the time at our disposal and the number of classes at our disposal is limited, so I have to quickly brush through these things, and I would advise you to please read any good book, uh, because these lectures are supplementary to the books, or these lectures will help you while you read from the book. So my sincere advice to you is that after listening to me, after seeing these PPTs, right, you must today itself, if possible, refer to your books, see in detail, because uh, if you will refer today itself, I'm sure you will be able to recapitulate what I'm discussing with you today, and that will help you in understanding the what is being written in the books. Now I'm coming to the environmental analysis techniques, and this is very, very important, friends. Many times the question is being asked either from one of these techniques or some of these techniques, or they will say what are the different techniques of environmental analysis. The question can be what are the environmental factors which affects business, right? And briefly explain the different techniques of environmental analysis. Or there can be a short note on one of the technique, or there can be a full question on what are the different environmental analysis techniques, right? So I'm quickly going through this so that you can have a basic understanding about these techniques. First and the foremost, this is very, very important. Sometimes you do get a full question on this very technique itself, because this is I mean, a very important technique of analyzing the environment. And most of the business houses do use this technique of analyzing the environment. So this is called SWOT analysis, SWOT analysis. What is this SWOT analysis means? Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. These are the four components which you analyze. When I was just talking about the advantages of environmental analysis, I referred these terms, analyzing the strength, analyzing weakness, opportunities, threat. At that point of time also, I said, I'll come to it again. So now I'm talking of these things in detail. So strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. Let me quickly read what I've written here. It is the most renowned tool for audit and analysis of the overall strategic position of a business and its environment. Its key purpose is to identify the strategies that will create a firm-specific business model. Firm-specific means as per your requirement, that will beset, align an organization resources and capability to the requirement of the environment in which the firm operates. What it means, this is very important to understand, that you identify the strategies, means the strategies that the company will adopt that will suit as per your own strength and weaknesses and as per the environmental factors, right? I'll be coming to this. Let me talk of this strength. Strength means what are the advantages which your company enjoys, your capabilities, resources, assets, people. Like some of the companies are very strong in technology. I will say iPhone. The immediate example that is coming in my mind is iPhone. iPhone, what differentiate iPhone from other phones, mobile phones, smartphones? I would say it's technology. Why people are ready to pay extra money for iPhone as compared to the other phones? There are many phones which have very similar features, but the pricing is low. But the iPhones charges high price because of its technology. They are very strong in technology, right? So what are the strength of your organization? You analyze it. Like some companies have large financial resources. This is your strength. If I say Reliance Industries have deep pocket, right? So because of its deep pocket, they have the advantage of the large financial resources. See, in this period of pandemic itself, they have raised billions of dollars from the international market. They have sold stake in the retail business. They have sold stake in the Geo, right? And they have raised billions of dollars. So it has become almost debt-free company, right? In a short span of time, by raising money, by selling their small stake, right, of Reliance Jio and Reliance Retail, they're able to raise billions of dollars. So now the financial resources, it's its basic strength. So resources, its assets, its people, marketing, reach, distribution, awareness. See, many people buy Maruti. Why they buy Maruti? Because they know that in any part of the country, if you go, and if there is any fault in the car, you will find a workshop of Maruti. Still today, despite stiff competition in the auto passengers market, Maruti enjoys more than 50% share. One of the reason, I'm not saying the sole reason, one of the reason, apart from its technology and other things, is its distribution network. Because spare parts are very easily available, right? If you buy a car of Honda or some other car, right, Toyota, you have to go to the authorized service station only, and there the spare parts are quite expensive of a car, right? But if you buy a Maruti car, and if there is any problem that arises, means there is any defect, and you have to change the spare parts are cheap, and it is very easily available in every part and hook and corner of this country, right? Even if you are in the northeast of the country, you are going out, and you will easily able to get the spare parts. So it is the strength of the company, right? It is able to sell more cars because it has a very large distribution network, right? It has a wide reach to the people. This may be your strength. So these are the means you see that what are your strength of the organization? What are the opportunities? Market development means in view of changing environmental factors, the environmental factors which we discussed in the beginning of this lecture, political, social, legal, economic, demographic. So you develop new markets, business and product development, right? Product development means you develop your product, you develop the businesses and all these things. Weaknesses, just opposite of strength. So lack of competitive strength. After the advent of Reliance Jio, I will say Idea Vodafone is lacking the competitive strength, because the type of network which the Jio and the Airtel has created, the Idea and the Vodafone combined, they are not able to They are not able to compete with their competitors. So competitive strength is it is the competitive strength that is weakening the Idea Vodafone network, right? Financials may be the opposites of strength. Yeah, our vulnerability, time scales, deadliness and pressures, continuity, supply chain robustness. See, I mean, many of the companies in India are suffering because those companies which were relying on the imported raw material from China, after this India-China, I would say we lost some good relationship with China in the last 6 months, 1 year, right? So there is a supply chain disturbances, and all those companies which were importing raw material from China, they are finding it difficult. So this is our weakness, that we are our over dependence on one of the source of the raw material has become our weakness, right? So what are the weaknesses? You must analyze it. What are the threats in the environment? Means how environmental factors is posing a threat on you. Again, I will give you the example of pandemic. Because of this pandemic, people are not going to the hotels. Most of the hotels were closed up till now for the last 6-7 months. Most of the civil aviation, means airline companies, were closed up till now. Only last month or last month they have opened, right? So because of this changes in the environment, because of this pandemic, it is posing a threat to these industry. All this industry which is related to the tourism industry, hotel industry, right? they are under threat. Threat in the sense people are not going for outing, people are not going for lunch and the dinners outside. They are preferring to stay at home. They are preferring to take their lunch. So these are the threat that is being posed by the environment. So market demand can be a threat. Obstacles means what are the obstacles in the business. So we have to analyze all these strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities that is posed by the environmental factors, and what are the threats that is being posed by the environment, right? So strengths are the qualities. I'll just quickly brush through it. I have already explained it. So strength can be, I'm just telling you, human competitors, process capabilities, means you have good process capabilities, you have deep pocket, financial resources, your product, your service. See, why people buy Hindustan Lever product? Means because they tend to believe that the product that is being produced by Hindustan Lever, right, is a good quality product. So your product is your strength. You are able to produce good quality product. That is your strength. You are able to give good services to the consumers. When you buy any of the white good, fridge, TV, your washing machine, your what you call geysers, like this, what do you call, all these things, white goods we call it, right? You see not only the product, but you see what is after sales service. If there is any defect in your air conditioner, right? In how many days you will able to service it, right? Whether the companies provide good quality service, that is your strength. That you lodge a complaint today, within 12 hours or within 24 hours, the service engineer will come and rectify your problem. That is your strength. So customer goodwill, brand loyalty. I've just talked about Lever. I've just you buy most of the people buy Pond's talcum powder. Why? Because the customers enjoy it. Pond's talcum enjoys the goodwill of the customer, right? So brand loyalty. So these can be the strengths. Weaknesses can be depreciating machine, insufficient, what do you call, right? Insufficient finance, development facilities, narrow product range. Narrow product range means like you do not have whole range of products. Again, I'll talk about the Maruti company. Maruti company has wide ranges of cars that are available. They have a car for the low range, those customers who want to buy low range cars. Low range cars means starting from 3.5, 4 lakh up to 15 lakh, 20 lakh, they have the cars, right? So their product range is quite wide. But there are companies which makes only, let's say for example, BMW, right? So BMW doesn't have a car of 4, 5, 6 lakh rupees. So a consumer, a lower middle class consumer, a middle class consumer who wants to buy a car, but he want to spend a few lakh rupees only, that is 5, 6 lakh rupees. So product range of BMW is not that much wide as the Maruti's product range is. So for BMW, this product range is a weakness in the sense that their technology is their strength, right? If you go to the higher segment car, that is their strength. But if you talk of the product range, this becomes their weakness, that they do not have a very large product range, right? So these are the weaknesses. Opportunity may arise from market, from competitions, industry, government, and technology, right? Because of change in government policies, because of change in technology, your competition level. So these can give you opportunity and those companies which grab the opportunities with both the hands, they are able to take advantage of the situation and they are able to grow. Because God does not send the opportunities daily. It is said in common parlance that God sends opportunities for you sometime only. But those people who grab this opportunity, they become successful. Those people who miss the opportunity, they will remain unsuccessful, right? So you must grab the opportunities. Threats, unrest among employees, ever-changing technology, increasing competition. See, after 4G, now Reliance is talking about the 5G. So technology is changing at a very fast rate. From 2G to 3G, 3G to 4G. Many of the companies who are not able to, invest that much for new technology, slowly and gradually they will perish, right? So what is the increasing competition, excess capacity, price wars. Sometime, again, I will take the example of Reliance Jio, which most of you are aware. That's why I'm giving you such example, which most of you are aware. Once the Reliance Jio introduced its platform, right? Initially, they give all consumers who wants to opt for Reliance Jio 6 months free. So many consumers shifted from other mode to Reliance Jio, and initially they reduced their price significantly. So what happens? This Idea, Vodafone, and this Airtel also had to reduce the price. I'm not talking of at present, because at present now the companies are increasing. So if there is a price war among the companies that are operating in the business, it will be a threat to the business, right? So reducing industry profits, these are the threats. Since I have to discuss some other techniques also, so I'm not taking these examples, because while talking of the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats, I've already given you various examples, right? So I'm skipping it. So friends, finally, although again, I have already talked about these advantages and disadvantages of SWOT analysis, let me sum up what I've talked about SWOT analysis, that every organization should, in order to scan the environment, has to see these four things: this strength of the organization, the weaknesses of the organization. When I'm talking of these things, this means keeping in mind the environment of the organization, of keeping in mind the environment. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities that is being posed by the environment? And what are the threats, right, that is being posed by the environmental factors? So if you do this, you will able to make your policies properly, because whatever the, like say for example, whatever the opportunities that is provided to you by the organization, you see what are your strength, how you use these opportunities by using the strength of the organization so that you can grow, how you can minimize your weaknesses, right, by the opportunities that is being provided by the environment. All these companies, FMCG companies, they were facing a tough time as far as their sales are concerned when this pandemic broke out. So what the companies did, this was the weakness, that there was a falling sale, right? Many of the people were buying only essential things, they were not buying the unessential things. So they changed their product mix and they start making this what you call hygiene products, which is being provided, the opportunity is being provided by this pandemic to these organizations so that they can maintain their sale. Their sales level does not fall. So they grab the opportunity, the opportunity is being provided by the environment, and they converted this weakness into an opportunity. That is, the weakness was the falling sale. So in order to see to it that the sale does not fall, they change this weakness into opportunity, right? So advantages are, it's a source of information for strategic planning, builds organizational strength, reverse its weaknesses. You can means convert your weaknesses, right? You can reverse your weakness, maximize its response to opportunities, overcome organizational threats. It helps. See, when I'm talking of these advantages, just I've named overcome organizational threats. How this SWOT analysis will help in organizational threats? Because you will able to analyze, what you do in the SWOT analysis, you analyze what are the threats for the organization, what are the environmental threats, because you are scanning the environment, you are monitoring the environment, you are forecasting the environmental factors, and by this forecasting, you are able to see that what are the threats that is being posed by these changes that is taking place in the environment. So whatever the threats, see what we are doing, basically we are studying planning. And in the planning, what is happens? Planning means foreseeing in advance what to do, how to do, when to do, as a general definition of planning. So if you foresee what is going to happen in future, whatever the threats that is being posed by the organization, You cannot avoid it. But what we can do, we can prepare ourselves for these threats that is being posed by the environment. So we say overcome organizational threats. Once again, I'm saying you cannot avoid these threats. These threats are going to happen. See, all these factors are uncontrollable. Your competitors are uncontrollable. You cannot restrict the entry of other companies. These companies, these new business houses will come in the business. You cannot stop it. But what you can do, you can prepare yourself for the competition that these competitors will post for you, will create for you. You change your product design, you make product development, you enter into the new markets. Suppose you feel that in Delhi market is overcrowded, more and more people have start selling in Delhi, right? You look for new markets. So a threat is being posed by your competitors. What you do? That you look for new markets, you look markets which are being unharnessed by you. You start looking UP market, you start looking Haryana market, you start looking Punjab market, you start looking West Bengal market and other markets, or if not nationally, internationally, you start looking for, is there an opportunity for you to export so that you can maintain your sale, you can increase your sales. So these factors which I'm talking of, all these environmental factors, they are uncontrollable. We said environmental factors are uncontrollable. But what we can do, we can prepare ourselves for these challenges that is being posed by them. We use our strength for making use of the opportunities, right? That is, or the threats that is being posed by the environmental factors, right? So it identifies core competitiveness of the firm. Which are your core competitions? It helps in knowing past, present, and future, so that by using past and current data, future plans can be chalked out. So these are all advantages of the SWOT analysis. See, I've explained in detail about the SWOT analysis because many times in the exam, a separate question is being asked itself on the SWOT, because this is one of the most important technique of analyzing the environment. Disadvantage. See, when I say disadvantage, means in any of the theory, this disadvantage means that if you don't use it properly, so that these can be the weaknesses. So I will say weaknesses of the SWOT analysis. It may cause organization to view circumstances as very simple, because of which means very simple in the sense you think that, oh, we have already planned for it. But as I said, organizations are dynamic, environment is dynamic. It will keep on changing and keep on posing new threats for you, new opportunities for you, right? So it causes organization to view circumstances as very simple, because of which the organization might overlook certain key strategies, contract which may occur, right? Categorization aspects as strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats might be very subjective, as there is a great degree of uncertainty in the market. As I've just said, that you have categorized strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. But this again will keep on changing because of the uncertainty in the market, uncertainty about the environment, uncertainty about means because of these uncontrollable factors, right? And SWOT analysis does not stress upon the significance of these four, but it does not tell how these are interrelated with each other, right? So this is about your disadvantages of the SWOT analysis. So friends, this is about your SWOT analysis. And very quickly, I'll talk of one more technique, since still we have 5-7 minutes. So I'll be talking of one more technique, right? This is just opposite of SWOT analysis because the time is short. So let me very quickly tell you how the SWOT analysis is different from this TOWS analysis. See, TOWS is nothing but SWOT spelled backward. We say, if you see this, we say SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. Here we are starting from threat, opportunities, weaknesses, and strength analysis. What we do in the SWOT analysis is that first we analyze what are our own strengths and weaknesses. And then we see that what are the opportunities and threat that is being posed by the environment. But the proponent of TOWS analysis says that it is the other way around. First, you analyze the environmental factors, that is, analyze the threats that is being posed by the environment. What are the opportunities that is being given by the environment? And then on the basis of these threats and the opportunities, you analyze your own internal environment, that is in terms of weaknesses and strength, and make the policies as accordingly. Right? Please try to understand the difference between the two. In the SWOT analysis, we first see our own strength, our own weakness, and then see what are the opportunities and threats that is being posed by the external environment. Here, it is like in this point, I said, however, when it comes to strategic formulation, SWOT technique fails to guide enough. This is because correct way to approach SWOT is first analyze the external environment. External means the threat and the opportunities. First analyze the external environment and then analyze the organization. So hence, TOWS is nothing but SWOT spelled backward. It is a tool that goes beyond analysis of environment and place, and it studies the interrelationship of these, right? I'm not talking of this. Just see this, right? What you're seeing here on the left side, I've said internal strength and then internal weaknesses. On the top of it, first quadrant is of external opportunities and then external threats, right? So on the basis of these factors, you will write down your own internal strength, internal weaknesses. You note down what are the opportunities that is being posed by the environmental factors, what are the threats that is being posed by the environmental factors, right? So 1, 2, 3, you keep on noting what are your opportunities, what are your threats. Then on the basis of that, you write down your internal strength, internal weakness. So first is maxi strategies. What are you saying? That maxi means internal strength. On the basis of internal strength, what are the external opportunities that is being, strategies that use strength to minimize opportunities, to maximize the opportunities. That on the base of your strength, you maximize the opportunities that is being posed. Means first you are analyzing what are the opportunities and then seeing what are the strength, and on the base of that, you use the strategy that use strength to maximize the opportunities. Then you have ST, maxi minimum strategies, that strategies that uses strength to minimize threats. Thirdly, mini maxi means there are many weaknesses, and on the base of weaknesses, you see that what are the opportunities, or put it this way, you make use of these opportunities and how you can minimize your weakness. Strategies that minimize weaknesses by taking advantage of opportunities, right? As I was just giving you the example of this fast-moving consumer goods companies like Godrej, Hindustan Lever, the sales was declining, so they start selling these hygiene products, right? So that their sale is being maintained. So the declining sale during the pandemic period was one of the weakness that environment posed to them, right? So they grab this opportunity and they start making hygienic mask and hand sanitizers and all those things which are being used these days in pandemic period, right? So many strategies. So these are the four. I'll just explain this. The SO strategy is known as maxi strategy. Like, let me come to the example first so that you can understand. Mercedes-Benz takes advantage of the external demand of their lavish vehicles and make right use of the technical skills and quality of their products, right? So see, as you know, Mercedes-Benz is in luxury car. So as the disposable income of the people is increasing, the income level is increasing in the many part of the world. So they take advantage of this external demand and using their technical skills and quality of their product, they take advantage of this technical skills and the quality, and they're selling their cars. The WO strategy, right, also known as mini maxi strategy, improve internal weaknesses by using external opportunities. US companies outsourcing accountancy and engineering work on account of cheap labor available. See, what is the weakness of American companies? The weakness is the human resource is very expensive there. So many of the routine accounting work, many of the what do you call, all these you are seeing in Noida, in Gurgaon, all these different what you call people who are providing phone services, who are providing these services, what they're doing. The company is America, but suppose you have to travel by your plane and you want to know that at what time the plane will fly, right? The American company has given contract to the Indian company, right? So Indian company, the person who is sitting here in India, he or she knows that at what time the flight will land and what time the flight will take place, right? So they will answer from India. Why? Because in India the person is available for 15,000-20,000 rupees, but on the other hand the same person is available in America for $15,000-$20,000. So they're using the opportunity. Their weakness is their human resource and very expensive human resource. So this external opportunity, because of the cheap labor in India, they are making advantage of this, and they're outsourcing this work. They're outsourcing their accounting work to Indian firms, because in India the human resource is cheap. They're able to provide this at a very rate. ST maxi mini strategy. In case within an organization that proposes good quality of product but is facing threats against competitors who offers low product, can adopt ST strategy, right? By mass production of the product, therefore it will reduce the unit cost of production. If you are facing stiff competition from your competitors and your sales is falling, what do you also do? You also start selling, making it a large level of production, right? So thereby you take advantage of economies of scale, and it will help you in reducing the cost, right? So lastly, WT strategy, the mini strategy. A company whose financial positions is a critical stage and the demand of its product is getting reduced, the only possible chance to sustain itself is to either retrenchment strategy or decide for merger with the other company. So if it is a weak, there is a threat in the environment, the company has its own weaknesses, right? What you can do? Either you retrench, think of new product, think of new service, and or you merge with another company so that you can sustain, you are able to sustain yourself in the increasing competitive market. So with these words, friends, so thanks for today. So I have talked about two techniques of environmental analysis. One is SWOT and other is TOWS, right? Thank you very much for this.